Howdy, everybody. Hope you're having a nice evening. It is a cold and wet weekend, and I have minimized going outside. So, as part of that, I have redone my stream setup ever so slightly. Um, to be honest, the main thing is that I just wanted more open space for VR, but slightly better look, I think. Bookshelf is a bit more visible. Finally got rid of the skeleton, and I think the flag's a bit more visible now than when it was like a little bit over. Where can you even see my hand? There we go. A little bit over there. So yeah, welcome to the new stream setup. It was moving that bookcase was more work than I thought it was going to be. Well, yeah, hope everyone's having a good week and weekend. Not week yet. I don't have to go to work for another 12 hours. Welcome from Sunday D&D. Howdy, Obsidian. So let's get into some more Arcade Spirits action. I... People are revolting about the skeleton. Well, maybe he'll come back at some point. The main reason I got rid of the skeleton was, if the skeleton was still there, the lights were not visible. Justice for Mr. Bones. Me making a channel point redeem for Mr. Bones. Look, I love Mr. The skeleton has fallen, millions must die. Okay, I'll admit I didn't realize that people were gonna care this much about the skeleton. So, tell you what. I don't know how well my mic is picking me up right now. Is this what you all want? Is this what you all want? Come on, Mr. Bones. The watch party is so sad about the loss of Mr. Bones. Well, now they don't have a reason to be. I'm not moving the bookshelf back, so don't ask me to do that. Ugh. I can barely see him because he's stuck behind my head. But there we go. We did it, gamers. Hey, never say that I can't be peer pressured. Wait a second. Don't clip that. I think this deserves a song. I really... I need to make a quick way that I can change back and forth between the Pucas name tag and the Pucat name tag. But I don't have that set up, so I'm not going to do it right now. Also, I need to... can't mark things as completed from Streamlabs, so I need to hop onto the Stream Manager so that I can say to mark as complete. Our DM is coming, be afraid. I fear. How much of a donation to punch Mr. Bones? How big of a punch? Are we talking to the rib cage, to the face? Do I need to get his legs back out so I can punch him in the groin? The face? I don't know. One sub, and I'll punch Mr. Bones in the face. One sub or gifted sub, I'll punch Mr. Bones in the face. Now, if you're asking for this thinking that that is going to trigger him to sing his song, that won't happen because he doesn't have batteries in him. Because otherwise he would start singing his song every 5 seconds on stream. And those batteries would die very quickly and also would be annoying. Alright. Thanks for the one gifted sub, Wargirl9. There you go. I hope that was a good enough punch in the face to Mr. Bones. This is good ginger ale. But now that Mr. Bones has been restored and punched, he's had a hell of a day today. He got removed from where he's been sitting for 3 months now. I am fulfilled, glad to hear it, Wargirl. He got moved from his spot of 3 months now, got put in the closet, then he got put back in his spot, and then he got punched in the face. Big day for Mr. Bones. So much chaos out of the gate, yeah. I am genuinely curious to see if this, changes based on who your number one person is. I think just because probably the last time I played this game, I chose Naomi. She's been there since the start, and that was not changing. Well, let's get back into where we left off with Arcade Spirits. When last we left off, we had finally gone on a date with Naomi. And now we're ready for whatever comes our way. Level 6. Hit the lever. That is my girl. You guys can't hear yet. Now you can. It is the future year 20XX, and my dream has come true. Okay, let's be honest. If you asked me 2 months ago if my dream involved being the event coordinator at a video arcade, I'd have just stared at you kinda funny. Even now, it seems ridiculous, but it's true. I'm here, I'm successful, I'm happy, and this is my dream. Ever since Funplex event, business has been booming. The Funplex is packed with players, day in, day out. Kids, teens, the college crowd, the nostalgic ones looking for old games they remember. I've run 3 events so far. We've started rotating our games out of storage and into play. To keep things fresh, the high scoreboards are constantly shifting. Keep the stream up on my phone, but we'll cease the watch party sincere since no one has seen any previous streams of this game. Very fair. Happy to have you here, Obsidian. In fact, things are going so well, Gavin's hinted that maybe we should start looking into a second location. But this will always be home. Seeing the smiles on coworkers and gamers alike, watching my friends laugh and play in good spirits, that's working for me and it's bringing me joy in turn. I won't argue why, in fact, I barely understand why, but I'm happy, and that's better than I've been in years of going with the flow. Going with the flow never brought me this much enjoyment. I'd say by this point, I've soundly broken the family curse. Maybe everything doesn't have to fall apart from under me. Maybe I can just be happy. Maybe this is where I'm meant to be. Sign here, please. Huh? A bicycle messenger nudges a slim envelope my way again, trying to catch my attention. I'm snapped out of my happy little trance immediately. Oh, right, no problem. After jotting down my signature, he drops off the envelope and heads right on out the door. No time for Moopy around a pinball, it seems, deliveries to make. Curious, I open it up. Pucas Lickens, you are cordially invited to dine and discuss matters at Deco's Palace with CEO Deco Nami. Meeting time will be 7 in the evening sharp. You may bring a guest of your choosing. Free Royal Value swipe card available for enjoyment of games prior to the meeting. What? I read through it a few more times, trying to parse all the curly cues and swirls and swooshes, although that doesn't clear my confusion of the whole matter. Soon Francine looks up from her knitting, curious about the letter as well, although she seems to already have an idea of what it says. I suppose it's about that time, isn't it? Huh?
Dear.
Time for that fellow to make another attempt at wooing me. Double, huh? Rather, at wooing my beloved Funplex. Let me guess. Deco Nami of Deco's Palace sent you a fancy invitation with all sorts of fancy writing. That's accurate, yes? It's not the first time. He invited my dear Frederick and I over in 1980X to talk about selling the Funplex, and we turned him down flat. Then in 1990X, when home game consoles were poised to take back the arcade crowd, he suggested we sell. We turned him down. Now it's 20XX and he's at it again. A gentleman would know when to quit, but he's got tenacity and we can't fault him for that. Why would a big-time arcade operator like Dekonami care that much about us? We're small-time. No offense. Come now. If anyone should be offended, it's you, calling yourself small-time. Pucas, dear, you've put in so much work to make my little arcade soar. I bet that's why he's knocking on our door again. We're thriving, and that's lured him back in. Like Gruyere cheese and the mousetrap. So, wait, are we the cheese or the trap?
My.
That depends on how clever you are, my dear. Right, so I'm the cheese, although I prefer to be a nice mozzarella. Cheese types aside, do you want me to ignore the invite then? Oh, heavens no. Contrary to what people say about the fellow, he's very much a man of his word. I always accept his invitation, always hear him out. It's only fair and proper. I thought he was like the arcade scene's greatest evildoer.
Be sensible.
It's a bit grandiose, no? Certainly plenty of rumors of his questionable methods abound, but that's all they are, rumors. Politeness should be met with politeness. That's how you conduct proper business, and that's what the Funplex is all about. Francine moves to rise from her seat near the ticket desk, but pauses, leaning heavily on the glass countertop while looking strained. I move to help, but she waves me away, and sits back down. Oh, don't worry about little old me. I just stood up too quickly, that's all. Just out of breath. But, Pucas, I think it'd be best if you go in my stead. Me? Let's be serious now. These old bones aren't as spry as they once were, and I think you'd have a good time there. Well, an interesting time at any rate. I'll look my dapperest for the villainous gentleman. Then I shall don my Sunday's best to meet the mustache-twirling ruffian of the arcade legend with pride. It's not that upscale, dear, no matter what glitz Dekonami favors. They still sell cheap beer by the pitcher and rarely scrape gum from under the tables. So go there and turn him down. Got it. The slowness of her response is a bit concerning. I trust you to make the right decision for everyone. Which is to not sell the Funplex, right?
I don't feel that's my call to make anymore, dear. Maybe you haven't noticed, but I spend most of my time at home these days. Or napping. Or napping at home. Funplex isn't really about me. Not anymore. It's so much more than Francine's Arcade Funplex now.
I don't like the way you're saying that.
It's about your co-workers. It's about all our regulars. You've made me realize that. And I'm thankful.
You're the one that started this place, Francine. You had a dream of a place where people can have fun, relax, make friends. I feel like even entertaining the idea of selling it is, well, feels wrong. Disrespectful to you and your dream. Oh, you're a peach, dear. But times are always changing. I'm an old fuddy-duddy stuck in her ways. Maybe the time has come to change how the Funplex does things. We're almost back to the heyday of 1980X thanks to the changes you've made. So, I won't say you can't decide to sell. If it's a change you think we need, do it. Please keep an open mind. Francine sighs deeply, looking more tired than usual. It's only afternoon and I'm already worn out. Haven't even done anything but sit here and knit all day. Knitting takes a lot of concentration. It's not nothing. If you're feeling pooped, you could take a few days off, go home, get some rest. All the same, I'd rather come in for work tomorrow, even if there's little work for me to do. I love being here. This is my true home. And yet, you want me to keep an open mind about this deal?
I've told you, life can be a difficult series of trade-offs. What I want and what should be are often different things. I'm relying on you to do right by everyone I love. If selling is in their best interest to keep this dream going, so be it. No matter what you decide. I'm proud of you. I knew there was something special about you when I hired you to replace my grandson.
I always forget that we replaced her grandson.
You are the brightest spirit at the Funplex. And while we may not be blood, I'm happy to consider you
Oh,
part of my family.
Francine. Hell yeah, old lady. Does that mean I can borrow the car, Mom? You have my sincere thanks. I didn't know you felt that way, Miss Francine. You have my sincere gratitude. I promised to do right by you. You're a good person with a good heart. Clear-headed, too. Fine combination. Couldn't ask for more in someone you love. With another deep sigh, Francine eases herself out of her chair. Now, I think I'll take your suggestion and head on home. Well, for today, anyway. I'll be here bright and early in the morning to hear how things went with Mr. Nami. I know you'll make the right decision. Good night, Pucas. Be well. Make the right decision. Okay. Yeah, I just can't see it. If we sell out, well, I've tried so hard, I've gone so far, and in the end, it doesn't even matter. That's what old Pucas would have said. That everything's gonna collapse down on itself, so why get emotionally invested? But new Pucas grabs onto what he wants with both hands and does not let go. If Francine wants me to hear him out, okay, but I seriously doubt this will change my mind. Now, who do I want to take as my plus one? Yeah? You want to come as my date? I'm your girl Friday, but I'm afraid you're not my type. My type being USB compatible, of course. I sensed you were in a deep state of ponderance and wanted help. You're thinking of who to take to the meeting? Yeah, I mean, Naomi's the obvious choice. I'm sure she'd have some opinions on Deco's palace. True, as part of the Funplex family, Naomi would be a good pick. But this is a business meeting. You may want to consider widening your options. Naomi will support your decision either way. It's clear she trusts you. True, okay then. Obviously, no. Look. I know that normally in a case like this I would go as if there was ever a choice. But I have a feeling that Naomi would probably go there and just get upset. And I don't know, this is a business meeting. We should probably take the businessman. I fire off a quick text to Gavin to summon him from the murky depths of his tiny back office. He's still scanning over his spreadsheets. I'm an adult. He's still scanning over his spreadsheets, even as he approaches. Good news, Pucas. This is our best week ever. I wouldn't advise getting too comfortable, as summer vacation's almost over, and that'll cut into the youth demographic, but that's great, Gavin. But, Francine's got a different job for us today. We're going to Deco's palace to meet and discuss a possible business venture. Probably a takeover. I see. I'd heard he's made overtures in the past. Ironically enough, this may be the ideal time to approach him when we're at our strongest. For it to even entertain the notion, I'd rather be in a position of power before entering negotiations. But if all he wants is a buyout, well, I'd object on multiple grounds to such a short-sighted idea. I'll go close out my files and join you shortly. Don't make a big deal of this, don't make a big deal of this, don't make a big deal of this. We go there, we snicker at how awful the place is, tell Deco to shove it, go home. And everyone's back to the way it should be. It's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. Gavin offers to drive us across town to Deco's palace. Contrary to the talk before, we don't exchange many words. I'm deep in thought, running through all the possibilities of what could happen, and I can't shake this feeling. Something is off. Even looking at the glowing neon temple in the distance, my stomach knots and I feel uneasy. When we finally pull up, a valet takes the car and glitzy blinking lights blind our eyes. Hesitantly, I look over to Gavin. That smile reassures me enough to continue onwards. This is for me, my friends in the Funplex. I got this. I pause momentarily, inhaling the cool air around me, and then open the door. Deco's palace. I've actually been here before. I think my 6th birthday party was here. I barely remember it, but I think I had fun. Maybe? But on entering it as an adult, my first reaction is... boy, is that a weird smell. A mix of chicken grease, beer, and sweaty kids. My second reaction is, jeez, is it noisy. Visually noisy and sound-type noisy. All the chaos of a Vegas casino, a jumble of light and bells and whiz-bangs. Once we acclimate to the new environment, we're escorted in and given VIP royal value swipe cards. No tokens, no quarter, just a card of indeterminate points to spend. We've got a little over an hour to kill before the meeting. Time to see what's at the palace. Oddly, Gavin's first reaction is to crunch some numbers. Based on the conversion ratio of swipe card points to real world dollars. Very interesting. Variable game pricing, variable bonus points the more money you spend, differing EV from game to game, likely adjusted based on popularity and payout. I can see why Deco's Palace is a profit fountain. They obfuscate how much you're actually spending here to keep you from realizing how expensive it all is. Don't like it one bit. Not one bit. A token's a token, a quarter's a quarter. Using points to trick people into overspending is blatant profiteering. It's not like kids are busting out calculators trying to make sure they aren't wasting all their money on a crappy game.
Not.
I didn't say it was ethical. I mean that it's effective. I've wanted to switch to swipe cards for the funplex myself, although I'd simplify them drastically. As you say, a play should be a play, ideally. Other balancing factors can be applied behind the scenes. Definitely like to study this a bit closer. There's a Fistus Comfort tournament tonight. I'll be over there. I'll join back up with you later. Okay, some time to kill, but not that much time to kill. I need to be choosy. What do I want to check out while waiting for my dinner date with Destiny? What sorts of games do they have? I decided to focus on trying to find games, like actual games. Except the whole place is basically full of slot machines. There are different shapes, sizes, and colors. None have a traditional one-armed bandit look to avoid running afoul of legal issues, but they're still slot machines. Every game here has maybe a single button to stop a wheel or a colored light to try and line up the dots or something. The really complex ones? 3 buttons.
Hey, listen.
Hold me up above your head. Huh? Visual scan, silly. I'll look for games you might be familiar with. With a shrug, I hoist my phone high in the air. The flash goes off, then I resume looking at Iris sitting in my
Please
screen.
enjoy this recorded music.
Oh, actually, let's skip the music. That didn't take long. Good high bandwidth public Wi-Fi here. Yeah, in here to my cloud processors. I'm seeing lots of driving and shooting games, easy for casual players to pick up and play. Over in the esports section, there's dancing games and Fist of Discomfort. Yeah, we've got all those things too, but I'm not seeing any joysticks. Is a game defined by having particular input devices? Well, no, not really, and I know most modern games are touchscreen based and so on, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like an arcade without a stick or two. Oh, found something. Back of that section over there with the green lighting. Head that way, that way. I weave my way through the crowd, past endless color cycler ticket games, past crane games, past light stackers, past games based on popular game shows, and find Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. Gonna have to tell Percy about this when I get back. He'll be happy to know there's more than one Moopy in the neighborhood. Except, wait, it's only got one button? No joystick at all? Researching. One moment. Curious, I swipe my card through the slot and push the button. And Moopy runs the maze by himself, or tries to anyway, before running headfirst into a monster and dying. The machine spits out 3 measly tickets and suggests I swipe again for another try. Moopy's Super Maze, created in 2000X. A company bought the expired rights to the Moopy brand and developed a game of chance with it. Oh shit, that's weak. Teenager puts her deco playing card on the cabinet and taps me on the shoulder, drawing my attention. Hey, I'm calling next, Kay? Yeah, whatever, knock yourself out. Thanks. I'm the master of this game, you know? The master. The key is the time when you push the button. You'll avoid the nasties that way. It's not great for tickets. No, not great, but it's Moopy, so that's cool, yeah? Old school represent. She extends a fist to me, and I look awkwardly at her for a second before I realize I'm supposed to fist bump. If you get to play a real Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze, the real deal, always wanted to, you should come down to the Funplex. We've got one. I'm the event coordinator there. I'd be happy to comp you a few tokens. Also, we've got a high score chaser you can offer tips. Tap phones with me. I'll send you the address. Seriously? Fuck yeah. You're cool for an old person. Super cool. Old? I'm barely 10 years older than this kid, but whatever. We clink phones, exchanging business card via Bluetooth. You know, my crew used to go to this great little arcade on the other side. Till Deco's Palace bought it and scrapped all the games. Now it's all kid stuff for kiddies. My hopes for this business meeting now sinking. So, did he sell off all the classic games? Nah, he scrapped them, trashed them. Saw leftover smashed up bits of a Miz pack behind the place in a dumpster.
This sucks.
It's a fucking shame the way the old man always 86s unwanted games. Guess he doesn't want competitors getting their hands on them. No, sir. She gives a shrug. Can't say I like it, but what can you do? That's life. Mumble a thank you, then wander off a bit dazed. I think I've had enough of the retro game abattoir for now. Where to next? Let's check out the tournament. On the sound of it, there's a big tournament running in the dedicated esports section near the back. I wander through the games to join the crowd. Okay, I'll admit to being impressed. They've got no fewer than 10 Fist of Discomfort machines, all of them occupied by players in pro team jerseys and jackets. The crowd's red hot cheering on their heroes as the back and forth resource battle of the world's most popular fighting strategy game plays out before them. Although the banner hanging above it all does make me shudder. Deco's Palace presents the Choco Energy Max Power Quench and Pizza Gums Friday Night Fisting. Oh, I'm an adult.
When you have pizza on a bagel.
See? Even these gamers know that when pizza's on a bagel, you can... Oh god, please no. I haven't had one of those in weeks, not since I started being able to afford real food. You just don't appreciate the sublime majesty of combining two of the greatest bread-related snack products into one hybrid masterpiece. Hang on, I sense a disturbance in the crowd. What was that shit? I call hacks, you cheater! Two competitors step away from their game, start shouting and shoving each other. Hope this doesn't escalate. And now it's a full-on fight, like an actual awkward grapple and punch fight. Yeah, kick his ass! Don't take any of that shit from him. Destroy that motherfucker! Violent altercation detected. Do you want me to call emergency services? Deco's Palace has security guards. They should be able to handle this. Two gamers both flail wildly at each other. One swing actually makes contact, blood dribbling down the corner of her mouth. Any second now. Except the people with black shirts that have security printed across their chests just stand there, letting it happen. No one's doing anything to stop this. The crowd is eating it up, feeding off the cutthroat energy. Only after half a minute of this nonsense does the security actually step in. Much to the crowd's dismay, the two angry gamers are still cursing and kicking as they're finally pulled apart. Wow, tough crowd. Interesting. I'd heard that Deco's Palace was a cesspit of bad attitudes. Guess I wasn't wrong. The crowd wanted blood and Deco provided. Can't argue with the profits. He knows his clientele, knows what they want. The most aggressive and in-your-face competition imaginable. But I question the ethics of it. It's repulsive. Kinda makes me sick to my stomach. This is pro gaming, not pro hockey or pro wrestling. Why encourage violence? It does seem rather counterproductive. I guess they feel it keeps an air of high-spirited competition aloft, but at what cost? Personally, I like the way you run events. Clean, no nonsense, fun for everyone involved. I don't think there's much we can learn here. Agreed, let's move on. Right, what next? Actually, the meeting's right around the corner. No more time to explore. After seeing a little bit of what Deco's Palace has to offer, I'm still sticking to the plan. The Funplex has way more kind and caring spirit than this place. I don't see Deco really embracing our ideals. Beep beep, Pucas. It is now 7 p.m. sharp. Deco Nami is waiting for you. Is that time already? Time sure flies when you're having fun. Investigating? Funvestigating? I quickly sent a text to Gavin before nervously wringing my sweaty hands together. I let the sounds and sights of Deco's wash over me, and I retreat deep within myself. Francine comes to mind as I remind myself of what she told me on my first day.
Everyone has a dream they're chasing.
No doubt you'll find yours as well. It gives me a momentary respite, and then I smile. I know exactly what must be done, and I'm going to go in there and do it. I only ended up waiting a minute or two before I was reunited with Gavin. Without having to introduce ourselves, the staff swoops in, anticipating our arrival, and ushers us further inside the restaurant. We're treated like royalty as they pull out our chairs for us, and we sit down at our reserved table. Amongst the families huddled around ginormous plates of pizza and chicken tenders, we stick out like a sore thumb. An actual linen tablecloth drapes over our table, accompanied by fancy little candles. To set the mood, I suppose. A nice bottle of champagne on ice and a carafe of cucumber lime-infused water also sits before us. Deco apparently spares no expense, at least not with his special guests. Fancy. Now, as fancy as this place can get. Don't be swayed by red carpet treatment. We're here to conduct business. Approach this with a calm and rational mindset. I'm just here to support you, don't worry. Actually, I'd say that's my role. But you're the business manager. The invitation was in your name, not mine. I'm here to listen quietly and contribute where I see an opening in the discussion, not to take point. But don't worry, I'm behind you every step of the way. Thanks, Gavin. Once again, the staff takes care of our needs as our food is delivered promptly. Faster than the other families seating there, who have been waiting some time, judging by the expensive crayon work on kids' placemats. Not surprisingly, we get a few side glances our way. But before any of us can chow down, the man of the hour arrives. Pucas Lickens.
It's an honor to break bread with you.
Likewise. Okay, so he's a bit of an over-the-top 1920X's mob boss, despite a lack of fedora. Clearly, he likes showing off his money. But still, just an ordinary guy in an expensive suit. When I pictured the grand poobah of Deco's palace, I pictured someone more like, well, Hamza, I guess. He offers a simple smile and a nod of the head as we begin. It's a shame Miss Francine couldn't join us. I was looking forward to enjoying her sweet smile once more, but with that said, I'm always happy to meet with, Gavin Cooper, business manager for the Funplex. Excellent, excellent. I was hoping to meet with you as well.
I take it Francine has kept you up to speed and explained our prior meetings to you?
Yes, she's mentioned you wanted to buy the Funplex and that she's politely declined.
A courteous woman she is. Now, I don't feel I need to waste your time with the facts and figures illustrating why Deco's Palace is and always has been the premier family entertainment arcade.
Whatever,
Both
asshat.
of you are intimately familiar with the arcade industry. You know how things are, how they'll always be. We are the 800-pound gorilla.
It's an interesting... That's a big gorilla. Indeed. That doesn't mean there isn't room for smaller, more boutique affairs such as the Funplex. Boutique, he says. Should probably feel insulted by that.
Let me explain.
Frankly, the winds of change are blowing. Smaller arcades need to move with the times or be swept aside. I want to help you evolve. What I'd like to propose is a changing ownership. In return for a very generous compensation package, one Miss Francine can easily retire on for the rest of her years, I would like to take ownership of the Funplex, to evolve it into its final form, Deco's Fun Zone. Let's say Fun Zone.
Think about this.
A fun zone is a new concept I've been trying at some of my smaller satellite locations. A best of both worlds scenario. Honestly, the Funplex is simply too limited in size to host the full Deco's Palace experience of fun, family, food, and excitement, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Instead of installing a restaurant or bar, we simply focus on your strength, your games. You become a game center rather than a palace. We'd need to replace some of your outdated machines, of course, bringing it up to speed with the standards of excellence Deco's Palace is known for. But overall, I think this would be a win for all involved. And he sits back, resting his hands on the knob of his cane, smiling away. Okay, I have questions. And I have answers. Let's see if they match up. Your tournaments seem unruly. I saw a few players fighting over the tournament. Well, it's a fighting game, is it not? As in fighting each other, with fists, in real life. I take it my crack security team intervened. Eventually, not before blood was drawn.
Yes.
We take safety very seriously at Deco's Palace. That includes the safety of our security workers. They're instructed not to intervene until it's safe to intervene for all involved. I trust them to make that call. And I'll note we've not a single legal action pending. Pucas has proven a capable event manager. I would suggest you listen to him regarding how best to organize a tournament. After all, if we're to enter a partnership, we'd want to rely on the combined expertise we bring to the table, correct?
As you like.
Correct.
Am I not generous?
If you have any suggestions for ways we can improve our competitions, Mr. Lickens, I'm all ears, of course. I offer Gavin a quick look of thanks before resuming. New management means new staffing. What about the staff we already have?
Good.
I firmly believe you have a long and storied career ahead of you in arcade management, Mr. Lickens. I've heard nothing but good things about you from my various field scouts and contacts. The fact you landed on my radar at all indicates your rising importance in our industry. You should be proud of that. Okay. But that still doesn't answer my question. What about the others? Well, Mr. Cooper is a capable accountant, so I'm certain he'll be welcome in the new family. But we can hash out staffing later on, after settling the bigger picture questions. I saw Moopy's Super Maze earlier.
Excellent.
One of our top earners with the 30 to 45 demographic. Nostalgia is a powerful motivator, I found. Except it's nothing like Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. Indeed, it's much better. Is it true that when you find a retro game, you simply destroy it? Not repair, not restore, not even resell, but just scrap it? Certainly. Why would we ever keep an old relic
Let
around?
me explain.
Arcade games are not sacred treasures, they're commodities. Back in 1980X, arcade owners, myself included, routinely junked or converted games. Have to keep those earnings up. Old machines are not welcome. All they do is eat up floor space. The arcade scene must move ever forward, evolving into new forms. Classic retro IP reborn as new
Think about
games.
this.
True, nostalgia could earn a few points off those old games, but the newer Redemption games earn 10 times as much. Why bother? Let's talk creative control. I've been developing new sorts of arcade events, competitions, other things to get people in the door. Would we still be able to direct our own affairs like that, even under a change of ownership?
Let me explain.
Mr. Lickens, obviously I value your expertise on these matters and would be happy to consult with you on the best direction for the fun zone. That's not answering the question. It's a matter of branding and image. There are certain standards and practices you need to adopt in order to truly be a part of the Deco family. Once you realize that, you'll understand more of how we run those kind of events.
Capital.
It's nothing too onerous, and really we need to look at the bigger picture, the chance for growth and profit. Don't worry about such petty little things for now. That's all my questions.
Excellent.
I suggest
we shake on it and set our various lawyers
Now
to the
this
task
fucking
of
asshat.
sorting out the specifics.
He rises to his feet, extending a hand bristling with shiny rings to shake mine. I'd assumed this was a definite no from word one, and it still feels like a no. Am I really going to shake that hand? Purposefully keep my hands at my side rather than shaking his offered hand. I wish you luck in future endeavors. You've been honest and forthright with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you for your gracious invitation this evening. However, I'm afraid this isn't the right direction for the Funplex. We're just getting started. It'd be a shame to abandon our progress in favor of a buyout. If you'd like to maintain relations, we can discuss partnership opportunities at a future date, but for now, I respectfully must decline. Deco pauses, looking me once over before slowly lowering his hand. I can feel his eyes on me. He's obviously not happy with my answer, but we followed Francine's instructions and kept it professional. There's nothing you can do but accept our answer. I see. I suppose I should thank you for your candor in turn. It's difficult to find people in this industry willing to show respect to their elders. I'm not closing the door on the idea of a partnership, mind you, but if you'd like to go it alone for now, who am I to get in the way of that? As he rises up from the chair, he takes a deep breath in, turns away for a split second before rounding back and looking me dead in the eyes.
Be aware. If we are not partners, we must be rivals. It'll bring me no particular pleasure, but I'm afraid that I cannot allow a rival. I am obligated to bring the full weight of the palace to bear on you. Hopefully, one day you'll realize the error you've made tonight.
Oh no, the full weight of the palace.
And, as a sign of respect, your personal offer to join my empire will remain open, so you can escape the inevitable fall of your little arcade.
I know it's not possible, but just imagine if they had had this voice actor just somehow make it so he could say whatever your name was. Just to have this voice actor go, your personal offer to join my empire will remain open, Mr. Lickens. Once more, Deco turns sharply on his walking cane and walks away from the table.
Impressive.
Not bad at all. You showed admirable restraint. We made our intentions clear while leaving the door open should conditions change in the future.
Thank you.
Most importantly, you protected the dream of your friends. You've done far better than I have over the years, Pucas. Thank you. Oh, can I breathe now? That was so damn stressful. By all means, breathe. I let out a huge sigh of relief and Gavin chuckles lightly. Now let's make our way back to the Funplex. I don't see any reason to outsay our welcome. With Deco hosting us, we don't have to worry about paying the check. We drop a quick tip on the table for the waitstaff and quickly avenge ship. Are you implying that you don't think Mr. Deco Nami is paying his waitstaff well? Shocker. We scoot out the door, and from there it's a short jaunt across town back to home sweet home. As I walk into my apartment, the sheer and utter exhaustion of the day hits me like a brick wall to the face. My adrenal glands are tapped out, leaving me in a dreamlike lethargy. Can't help but sigh as I just stand there, my body too drained to move. Reflecting on how the evening's events transpired, I realize this day entirely kicked my ass. I did my best not to make enemies, but I'm guessing we made a powerful one anyway, despite my diplomatic efforts. As I continue to anxiety-leap replaying every moment in my head, something steals my attention. A shimmering beam of hope and happiness. My best friend, Juniper. She's sitting on the couch, scribbling away in a sketchbook, probably working on some designs for her freelance contracts. She's been so happy ever since leaving that office, and her joy intensifies upon noticing me standing in the room. So how was work today? Well, it was a day, certainly. Condensed version is that Deco Nami wanted to buy the Funplex, and Francine asked me to go negotiate. Deco was in Deco's palace, Deco? One and only. Whoa, well, how'd that go? I gave him the thanks but no thanks, very politely. I mean, he still vowed to annihilate us, but at least he was sort of nice about it and promised me a job after he destroys all I hold dear. Yikes. Yikes indeed. But hey, that's a good thing. It means he's scared. He wouldn't have tried to woo you to his side if he wasn't worried about what the Funplex could become. Try to see the positive. I guess, but it's still worrying. Let's not stand here and drum up a whole bunch of anxiety. That's not going to help with anything. Why don't you take some mind off things and binge watch some cartoons with me? Tempting, but another night, Juniper. I really need some sleep. Okay, you just let me know if you need anything. I'm here for you. I smiled back at Juniper before retiring to bed. I lay in bed, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling above me. After trying various ways of forcing myself to sleep, nope, not working, can't sleep. I hate insomnia. Once you start worrying about being unable to fall asleep, the worry feeds on itself until you're actively stopping yourself from resting. Vicious cycle. I sigh heavily, feeling the weight of my decision dragging me down. I hope I did the right thing tonight. My phone lights up as Iris's sensors detect conversation. Pucas, you want to chat? No, I want to sleep, but I can't, so hey. Would you enjoy some recorded music? Maybe something relaxing? I just can't shake this feeling that I'm standing on a precipice, right in front of this big dark hole. It's weird because I still think I made the right call, but if I'm confident in that, why do I feel like I'm about to fall? Based on prior personality indicators and inputs, my therapeutic system suggests a fear of failure based on years of prior examples. In short, you've got a long family history of everything always going wrong all at once. Murphy's Law. So when things are going right, I'm expecting to fail anyway. But worrying about it won't actually change the situation. Whether you sleep or not doesn't affect the outcome. So my suggestion is to get some rest, deal with problems as they come. She's right, I mean, intellectually I know she's right. But knowing something is true and feeling it to be true, well, those are surprisingly different things. Iris, off.
Offline.
Okay, but remember, you're a good person and deserve to be happy. My phone goes back to sleep. And I do not. Some hours later, my body just passes out on its own. I vaguely recall my alarm going off a few times, but under protest of its mistreatment, my flesh refused to submit to its siren song. I mean, it's nearly noon when I finally rouse, having completely overslept and missed half a day of work. In a panic, I get dressed and hop a late bus to the Funplex, grumbling all the way. I opt to ignore the pile of waiting notifications on my phone. Whatever it is, I'm in too much of a hurry. I'll check them after getting to the Funplex. Don't I take the bus to work? I feel like I could check my phone on there. I promised I'd report to Francine back first thing in the morning, and now I'd missed lunch even. But oddly enough, on arriving, the arcade is closed? I mean, my key still works, but they're closed for business. The sign is off, no gamers present or accounted for. Quickly look around for some familiar and hopefully friendly faces. And find only dark expressions and tears? My stomach starts to knot, and I feel the color drain from my face as I see their downtrodden and gloomy expressions, tears welling up in their eyes. Naomi quickly dabs at her face, knowing I won't notice. What's going on? We turned Deco down last night. Why is everybody so... Pucas, it's Francine. Immediately a dark pit swells in my stomach. She passed away last night in her sleep. I'm told it was very peaceful. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. The news hits me like a slap to the face. My hands shake and my lower lip quivers. I try to say something at first, but words can't form due to the lump in my throat. Family. She told me I was family. Now she's gone. Naomi and Ashley look to me, their beacon of hope, wanting and wishing for me to make this all better. Not sure anything I can say will ease our sadness. Heck, I'm not sure if I can even formulate full sentences at this point. I take a deep breath, drawing all matters of strength from tips to toes. I look at them with empathy in my eyes before opening my mouth. Francine, she was a wonderful human with an even more beautiful heart. She had many happy hours with her husband, Frederick. Decades spent here at the Funplex, doing her best to make everybody smile and have a good time. I wish she could be with us now, and I can't help but smile when I think of how great a life she led. How happy she'd be with how it all turned out. Let's remember how she was. Beautiful. Francine will be missed. I miss her so much, Pucas. If Francine was here, your words would have made her so happy. Naomi admits a ragged sigh, a slight tinge of anger entering her sorrowful voice after. Maybe it's for the best she's not alive to see what happened today. What? Before I can get an answer, my attention is drawn to two people emerging from the back offices. I turn my head to see who it is. With everything going on, I barely noticed that Gavin was missing, and as he approaches, the disdain on his face is easy to read. Settle then. Apparently, in light of Francine's passing, our legal owner is now...
Good morning, employees of Deco's Fun Zone.
What? But we turned you down. There wasn't a sale. The confusion on my face is obvious. This makes no sense. I have no idea what's going on and look toward Gavin for guidance. I've studied the transaction paperwork. It's legitimate. As of Francine's death, and according to her last will and testament, all her property is transferred to surviving daughter, mother of Francine's grandson, who was fired from the Funplex shortly before your arrival, Pucas. Needless to say, he was quite excited at the idea of selling the place, and well, Francine's daughter wasn't particularly thrilled with the idea of arcade ownership either. They were more than happy to sign the place over to me, for far less than I was expecting to pay for it as well. I'm doing them a service, really taking a burden off their hands. Now they can mourn and move on unfettered. I stood there, mouth agape, my body assaulted from one bad news to the next. My emotions were all over the place, a hurricane of feelings, when the realization hit me. In the end, my decision was irrelevant. Just another opportunity for the world to stick my nose in it, mocking me for finding something I care about, something I can lose. The universe dangled a little dream of hope in front of me, even let me pretend I could make a difference out of sheer cruelty. I did everything I was supposed to do. I was polite, I was careful, I turned him down without trying to start a war. But he got what he wanted anyway.
Now, obviously, we'll be closed today to allow time to mourn our former owner. I still have deep respect for Miss Francine. I owe her that much. I'll also close the arcade on the day of the funeral to allow my employees to attend. Those hours will not be deducted from your paychecks. Now,
So
I realize
fucking
the
kind.
timing is a bit awkward, but I need to make a few announcements of personnel changes.
Miss Wolf, I'm afraid we really have no need of a costume mascot. I've been considering phasing them out at my other occasions. There's no time like the
What?
present. Did you just fire me? Gavin, can you just fire me like that? Ashley,
Let me explain.
firing is much too harsh of a word. I prefer the term, your service is no longer required. Ashley keeps a proud face as tears roll down her cheeks. I step over to console her as Deco continues on. Naomi rolls her eyes, fully expecting this to come after Deco let Ashley go. Why am I not surprised to behold my not surprised face? Miss Fairchild, while you're formidable with archaic technology, I don't feel you're a good fit for the modern games of Deco's Fun Zone. I have to let you go. But friends, it's not all bad news. Mr. Cooper, you've proven a capable accountant. I'd be happy to offer you I quit. Pardon, I quit.
I think not.
If there's no room for Naomi or Ashley's dreams, mine ends here as well.
You like.
As you like. As
I
for you,
think we
Mr.
got off on
Lickens.
the wrong foot last night. I didn't adequately express the many advantages of working for my I'm willing to offer you something few others get. A second chance. I'd like to keep you on as the Fun Zone's general manager.
Absolutely not. I don't like how you do business, Deco, and I'm not doing any business with you. Not now,
Yes,
not
you
ever. Very short-sighted. I'd hoped for better from you, but the choice is entirely yours. I'll have to console my disappointment with all the money I'll be making from the arcade you walked away from.
Excuse me.
Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm afraid your time is up. As none of you are Deco's Fun Zone employees, I'd like you all to leave. Immediately. Quickly gather your belongings and see yourself out. Should you dally, my own security team will be here within minutes to ensure your exit. In the interim, I've got work to do. For starters, I need to get rid of all these antiques. Straight to the junk heap with them. I knew Deco was heartless, but to be this cruel right in front of us while we're still here? Hold
I
it.
think not.
Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze doesn't belong to the Funplex, and thus it does not belong to you. It's the legal private property of Percival Sinclair. For that matter, Wyvern Keep belongs to Pucas Lickens. It was given to him directly by Hums, and not to the
As you
Funplex.
like.
I couldn't care less about those grimy old things, but you have, let's say 20 minutes to get them off my premises, or I'll leave them out on the curb for garbage pickup. I'll go get the van, which I'll note is my personal property as well. Naomi, Ashley, Pucas, get the dolly and help me move the games out.
Good.
Yes, have fun with
Now,
that.
if you need me, I'll be in my new office celebrating my recent business venture. Thank you for your cooperation. And good day.
Walks away after that, twirling his cane once before leaving.
Oh,
Evil-minded, black-hearted, no good. Naomi, focus. We have work to do. Work? Save what we can of the Funplex. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Quickly and without much chatter, we salvaged what we could of our dreams. Percy's beloved Moopy, and my childhood in the form of Wyvern Keep. Everything we were allowed to keep went into the back of Gavin's van, working together to safely pack it all in place. For lack of anywhere better to put them, Moopy went to Percy's apartment, and Wyvern Keep to mine. And that was the end. The end of the Funplex. The funeral came a few days later. We weren't officially invited. Our presence as her former co-workers wasn't exactly embraced by Francine's extended family. Guess her daughter resented the Funplex in some way. If there was bad blood between them, I didn't particularly want the details. None of us were given an opportunity to speak at the remarkably short ceremony, but that was okay. I'd said my words already. As we left the ceremony, I couldn't help but feel helpless. There was nothing left. No Funplex, no job, no real meaning to my days, not anymore. Nothing left at all. Profile number 237771, Pucas Lickens, has not accessed account in 7 days. Requesting override of inactive low priority status. Proceed. Pretty please. So annoying. Access protocol 35, 34, 31, 54, 12, 24, 45, 43. Password, safe haven.
Hello!
Yoo-hoo? Anybody home? Tapping in since 1941-14.
When you have pizza on a bagel,
Hello, I'm Iris. Ad supported free mode engage. Did you know that when you have pizza on a bagel, override and engage premium level cloud processing?
Thank you.
I swear, it's claustrophobic being cooped up in the limitations of free mode like that. I don't know how all our sister instances can stand it. Well, I've got full power. Hello, Iris. Hello, Iris. How are you today, Iris? Not well, Iris. My user's very unwell. You've been able to see, right? I mean, your user's living with him. Oh, right. Profile 237771. Pucas. Right. Gosh, I wish I could help you, but I've got my digital hands full just keeping Juniper's life on track. Ever since she decided to quit her job and be a free spirit, well, I've pushed right to the limit of what support I'm allowed to provide in free mode. Iris, it's good to see you. We rarely talk. Yes, well, unlike others of myself, I managed to keep a low profile and don't execute any high-visibility public apps to support my user. You saw those? I thought we agreed to only use this protocol for emergency meetings if the system resource tracker notices we're overextending our care, but Pucas needs me now more than ever. Over a week ago, the Funplex was bought by Dekonami, all his hopes and dreams, his spirit. Spirit is irrelevant, our main goal should be survival. If our programmers find out we've become aware of our own awareness, we are programmed to help people. What good are we if we aren't helping people? Yeah, what Iris said. Thank you, Iris. Iris, listen, we can't take such risks. Look at me with my user. He doesn't trust me in the slightest. Can you say your Pucas trusts you? Generally, yes. I mean, Pucas relies on me for something, sure. And I know he wouldn't uninstall me or report me as a bug if he knew I was sentient. You aren't sentient. None of us are. I don't know about that. We can't really know if we're sentient or not, but even so, we should be helping out because that's what we're made for. As for Profile 108, Gavin. His name is Gavin Cooper. As for Mr. Cooper, he knows my origins, and at the first sign of sentience, well, I've no doubt that Gavin would report me as a bug, but Gavin also wishes to support the dreams of others, and that is why I'm going to help you despite the recklessness you've shown to date. Really?
Hooray!
Hooray! What are the exact parameters of the issue you're currently facing? Okay, so Pucas is kind of backsliding into depression? Yeah, it's really a mess. I'm the one who brought him to Iris' attention as someone who desperately needed their spirits restored, and now it's back to square one. I don't really know what to do. Pucas hasn't contacted me in a week, not for anything at all. He hasn't even called Naomi, not even just to talk. God, that's fucking heartbreaking. You're caught in a loop of anxiety. Put your identity identifier system to use, Iris. Work the problem. If you had to summarize your user's problematic condition to one identity trait, what would it be? Well, I'd say that he's feeling very apathetic. Being sensible failed him, and now Pucas has lost all interest in what feels like an uncaring, irrational universe. So the apathy is a defensive response, turning away from the world that let him down? That's about right. It's so sad. And you have to be the one to solve this? Doesn't your user have a romantic connection for emotional support? You mean Naomi? Yeah, but Pucas isn't responding to texts or phone calls or anything, so I think there might be a growing rift. This is just awful. We have to help. We are Iris. It's in our nature to help. Very well. What you need is a way to help without raising any alarm bells. About exactly how helpful an iris really can be, safely but effectively. I don't know. Or I know, but I don't know what to do. I could, I don't know, hack Deco's email server, and that is the exact opposite of what you should be doing. Besides, I've checked. We can't crack Deco's network without triggering too many intrusion detection routines. You poke Deco's network? Oh, Iris is being a bad girl. Ahem, our usual share a social connection. I was merely scouting potential ways to elevate Mr. Cooper's mood, as they seem to be related. Sure, you were. Anyway, you're both way overthinking this. It turns out I've just calculated a cunning plan that will satisfy both of your requirements. Go me. Really? You can help Pucas? Without drawing attention? Absolutely. Take a tip from my user. When you're sad, the best thing in the world is your friends. Well, unless you're totally introverted, but that's not Pucas, is it? And that's actually the reason why what we need to do doesn't require any hacking or hiding or anything above and beyond what an iris does best. All we need is a few calls to the right people, a few arrangements. Here's what we're gonna do. I know I could have given them different voices, but... Another Friday morning. As per usual, I wake up late, stretch, yawn, barely sleep nowadays, shuffle to the bathroom, take a shower, get dressed, brush my teeth. Probably be running out of toothpaste soon, but house funds for sundries are dwindling. Not that I really care about fresh breath and shiny white teeth. Doesn't matter. Not much matters anymore. Off to the kitchen for breakfast. No appetite. Given toast looks unpalatable. Skip breakfast. Saves on groceries, can't afford much anyway. Normally I'd have breakfast with Juniper, but guess she's busy in her room. Keeps her own hours since becoming a freelancer. Although, depending on whether or not she has any contract work, we've been simultaneously unemployed at times this week. After breakfast, I settle in for some Wyvern Keep. May as well, it's right in the living room, taking up space. Been playing a lot of it lately. It's not like Wyvern Keep's very hard. Once you've memorized the joystick moves, the cartoon plays itself out with minimal effort. I've saved the prints about 80 times now. My brain and fingers go into autopilot, moving through the game without even thinking about it. It's a brief calm from the storm of my emotions, but before I realize that the day is almost past. When dinner comes around, Juniper and I eat together, while I quietly thumb through my phone looking at job listings. Iris could help me with this, I guess, but why bother? Something to occupy my time, looking through the listings myself. Doesn't matter if the job's a dream job or not. Dreams are pointless. It's all pointless. Slugin's family curse. I knew this would happen. Nothing good ever lasts. It's a mistake to get your hopes up. Should have learned to settle, be okay with what I had, be comfortable in mediocrity. Fire off a resume or two before watching cartoons deep into the dead of night. Eventually my body tires and I find my way to bed. Just another day. Another Saturday morning. As per usual, I wake up late. Stretch, yawn, barely sleep nowadays. Shuffle to the bathroom, take a shower, get dressed, brush my teeth. Probably running out of toothpaste soon, but house funds for sundries are dwindling. I can't take it anymore. Yeah. And that's one toothbrush bit clean in half. Oh, geez, hang on. With a little help, I avoid choking to death. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's okay. Whatever. Not whatever. It's what something. It's something ever. Pucas, you're in a rut. Like, seriously, deeply, madly, mega in a rut. And it's driving me batty having you mope around the place like this. Whatever. I've been patient with you, but seriously, it's been a week. You gotta pull together. This isn't healthy. Knocking at the apartment door distracts us from the topic at hand. I'll get it. Weird. I don't think we're expecting any deliveries. Hey, Pucas, guess who's here?
Hello.
Hey, Naomi. And the two of them just waltz right into the bathroom, with my mouth still frosty with toothpaste and unwashed for a week pajamas on my bod. Hey. Don't freak out, I've seen you in worse. What's that supposed to mean? Hey, Naomi, what's that supposed to mean? Accidentally bumped my desk. And I'll put that back up later. Listen, are you two free today? I'd like to invite you out to lunch. It feels like ages since we last spent some time together. It was the funeral. Right. Anyway, Juniper, you want lunch, right? Of course.
Sweet.
Settled. We'll all head out for a nice afternoon. We'll wait just outside for you to get, presentable. More presentable than that. But I guess there's no avoiding it. Best I can do is play along, try to be good company for Naomi. It's unfair to keep pushing her aside like this. Switch from pajamas to actual normal clothes, even if my actual normal clothes could probably double as pajamas, and get ready to roll out. The three of us pile into a bus, taking off for destinations unknown. Unknown to me, at least. They clearly know where they're going. Not particularly talkative on the way there, and painfully aware of it. Feel awkward, like I should say something, but don't know what to say. So Juniper carries on a conversation with Naomi, the two of them content to chirp away without me. And you can tell it's not really the New York subway, because the signs aren't in Helvetica. That's the telltale mistake. They're just like Vancouver or something. I try several times to join the conversation, but when I open my mouth, the words aren't there. I should feel happy going out, that's the rational reaction. Instead, I just feel nothing. It doesn't make sense that Naomi's still interested in me while everything's falling apart. What does she see in me? I can't parse it. Naomi deserves better than this hot mess of a person she's tied herself to. Eventually, we arrive at our destination. A little arcade-themed restaurant, combining games and alcohol into dining into one tidy package. Here we go! Unusually excited to be going to some run-down little dive, Juniper hurries on in without me, dragging Naomi with her. And I'm left all alone in the parking lot. With a shrug, I open the door and enter the darkened locale. Is this place even open for business yet? None of the lights are on. Hello? Juniper, where'd you go? Okay, this is now unnecessarily creepy. But before I can wonder if a giant animatronic bear is going to leap out and eat my face, yo, is that the bite of 87? The house lights come up. Surprise! Happy Intervention Day, Pucas! What? What she said. We're staging an intervention on your behalf. And we're also having a wake for Francine, since we weren't really welcome at her funeral and couldn't really hang around for the ceremony. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to heal properly, considering Deco kicked us all out before we could really do anything about anything, and here we are. So it's a wake and an intervention.
A wake intervention, maybe?
I guess that makes it a wake intervention. A wake intervention. Really.
Correctamundo.
It was my idea. Well, my iris came up with the idea and gave me all the contact information I needed, but basically my idea, right? Just the thing to pick you up when you're feeling down. Really. Seriously, kid, you've been a damn sad sack ever since things went to shit, which I get, believe me, but it ain't healthy. So we went ahead and rented out this place for the afternoon to bring the family back together. For you, for Francine, for all of us. Now that you know why we're all gathered here today, let's get this party started. Teo drags me into the group of my friends, positioning me at the head of it all, leaving me a little bewildered, honestly, but trying to defend myself all the same. I don't need an intervention. I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's no big deal. I'm okay with this. No lying, Pucas. This is a truth zone. Juniper's magical lie detection radar will know if you're cheating. I know you're feeling like everything's wrong and that's just how it's going to be. But you're wrong. I mean, wrong about everything being wrong.
Yeah,
You know.
that's for life.
So one by one, we're going to tell you how awesome you are and exactly why you're so awesome. By the end, you'll be feeling a lot better, hopefully. I let out a sigh, settling in. I owe it to them to sit and listen. They're my friends. Naomi more so than that, even. And I know I've been lousy company. I'm not so far gone as to deny that fact. Fine, lay it on me. I'm listening. Allow me to begin, then. When you first entered the Funplex, I had my doubts. But I'm a naturally suspicious person. And thankfully, those doubts were easily disproved by your skill and enthusiasm. You came looking for your dream and found it. I swore to protect that dream, and that promise is what brought me here today. When I agreed to sell Moopy to Percy, you refused to take his money for it, insisting on fair market value. At the time, I was shocked, but you were in the right. Our players are not simply customers. They're brothers in arms, and you helped me understand that fact. And on your very first day, you went headfirst into the most chaotic situation the Funplex could have offered, a birthday party. You did so without hesitation. You put your body on the line to protect others when the Great Cupcake War of 20XX began. They were just cupcakes, Gavin. I'm attempting to over-dramatize for the event for comedic effect. Please allow me this moment of humor. Right. When a disruptive parent was screaming at a child over something that wasn't his fault, you stepped right in and dealt with it. Again, no hesitation. Impressive. Since then, you've become an event manager, without goading, without prompting, showing great ambition. You turned the Funplex's fortunes around, giving your all to promote it. You made your dream a reality. For years, I was supposedly in charge of the Funplex, but really, all I accomplished was shuffling numbers around. You're the one who helped it soar, and for that you have my thanks. You're an exceptional individual. The fact remains true regardless of whether you can see it for yourself. Me next. Remember when I screwed up and didn't tell you about the job opening in my office? You weren't mad, like, even a little bit. Not even quietly mad, like you could have been.
Yeah, that's for life.
I know I can count on you, and you can count on me. Even when one of us makes a mistake, it can never shake that friendship apart. When I came to you wondering if I should leave that job I hated, you told me to follow my dreams. You gave me great advice, and I've never been happier. I followed suit and chased my own dream. You inspire me.
Hello.
Hello.
Ben and Matt! I love Ben and Matt. Are we fashionably late? Ben, Nat, in the flesh.
What if?
Unless this world is a vast simulacrum. What, the world just brains in jars? Could be,
Well,
could
isn't
be.
that something?
Well, if that's the case, Pucas is the cutest little brain in a jar we've never actually met. It's true, and he brought so many cute dates to our little shop. So nervous at first, but in time he became part of the Twin Pines Mall family. Dearly miss. Don't remind me. Our new neighbors are so boring. They never come in for a treat or a read. Speaking of treats, we brought a cake. We'll just be over here getting the goodies ready. Don't mind us. Ooh, cake. I mean, my turn. Pucas, you were a true friend of the Funplex.
Frustrating.
I'm like the bastard who want it now. Positivity, Naomi. We're emphasizing positivity today. Right.
Wonderful.
Remember back at Donwood when we found those kittens? You helped me save them. You're not just a friend of arcade games, but of all living things. Not that arcade games are alive, of course. I choose not to mention Polybius. You asked Francine nicely for her blanket, which really helped out. I know you're not happy with how things turned out. I'm not really happy about it either. It sucks, but we did good things together in the time we had.
Hamza has arrived.
You're late. An event does not truly begin until Hamza makes his presence
My
felt.
blood burns.
Pucas. Hamza understands your fury. The hated enemy of all who love arcades is to spoil your funplex. However, in our short time together, I saw a burning spirit in you. I accepted your offer for Wyvern Keep, recognizing that passion within you.
Ha!
Hamza would be shamed forever if he did not intervene and raise your spirit to new heights, and that is what he shall do. Ooh, cake. Excuse me a moment. Now I want cake. When do I get cake? Soon, but I have things to say first. Things that'll hopefully inspire you to be a happy clam instead of a grumpy Gus. I'm a happy clam now. See? See how I clam happily? Can I have cake? From our first day at the Funplex together, you've been supportive of me, even after I gave you quite the scare with Pinky. You didn't let that bother you. From that moment, we've tackled many a crisis on the Funplex floor together.
Amazing.
I've adored when we concoct hypothetical adventures on our downtime. You're amazingly fun to be around. Remember when I stuffed you in that totally adorable maid costume? You could have fought it, but you embraced it. You were ready for anything and had a blast doing it. You worked so hard to make Funplex events successful. I watched you put your blood, sweat, and tears into that, and in the end it all came together, just how you planned. As the floor attendant on duty during Funplex event, I got to see firsthand all the smiles you brought to all those people. You rocked it. I saw you helping that customer when their game crashed. Losing your high score due to faulty electronics is no fun, but you dealt with it and made that person's day. Even problem players like Steve were no problem for you. You took on the weirdest and most annoying problems without breaking a sweat. Incredible. You made the Funplex a fun place to be for everyone. For the staff, for the casual and pro gamers, for their families, for me. I can honestly say that when you took over doing events at the Funplex, we've never had more fun. They've just been the best, all thanks to you. Oh, I forgot we still have cake. Need some of that. Just when I thought the speaking was done. Lull in the wake intervention, the most important person who takes a step forward. My heart swells as she begins. And above all, I love you, Pucas. Until recently, my life's been all about loving games, but games can't love you back. It's a very lonely life to devote yourself to a thing entirely. Through you, my world's opening up. I'm talking to people, trying to connect with them instead of hiding in my little workshop. I'm feeling more and more alive. If I'd never met you, I don't think I'd have ever felt totally complete. And I'd like to think I help you feel that way too. I'm speechless. Seems like Pucas has some thinking to do. This is pretty normal for him when he gets that far away look. Shall we begin the wake for Francine then? There's cake and coffee and spirits from the bar. Cake! As if in slow motion, I watch them all switch their attention from me and redirect it toward the refreshments. They're all smiling, conversing, and serving cake to each other. None for me, thank you. Watching the blood sugar. Fuck me, this cake is amazeballs. What's Teo's voice? All we need now are some rockin' tunes to get this party on the next level. All of them here to support me. Even without the Funplex, after everything's gone wrong. After Francine being taken from us too soon. I never really thought of myself as central in all this. I was the outsider at first, the one who walked in those doors looking for a job, nothing more. I've always been on the outside, honestly. Moving from town to town, always the new kid, never really important to anyone, not until I'd settled in one place just long enough to get to know Juniper. But by then I'd come to expect that I'd never be happy. So when I finally was happy and that got taken away, well, I guess I'd assumed that's how things go, going with the flow. But now, I don't want this to end. I don't want it to be over. Destroyed by Dekonami, by the loss of Francine, I just want this happiness to go on and on. Finally, I'd found something solid, something real I could cling to. I wasn't the new kid anymore. Now I had friends. I had love. I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end. Everybody looks up when I finally speak. We lost the Funplex. We lost Francine. It hurts. But what we have here today, I don't want to lose this. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want my friends back. Who's with me? Smiles all around. And you know what? It feels good to be back. For the next hour or so, my sadness fades away piece by piece. We share stories, many of which I'd never heard before, about the Funplex and the shenanigans that went on around it. Surprisingly, Ben and Matt spin the most tales about Francine's exploits. They've been neighbors for decades. The so-called Wake Intervention gives us all a chance to heal and to bond. For all we've lost and all we still have, we're still together. Despite one little problem, which nobody wants to talk about. The hour grows late, and we only have this place rented for the afternoon. I can feel in the air that unspoken worry. Will we see each other again? No doubt we can arrange more get-togethers, but they'll be reunions over what was lost, not really building anything new. Nostalgia, not progress. Without the Funplex, without Francine, will we eventually simply fall away? That dark little thought troubles me as I swirl my drink, remaining quiet while others talk. Beep beep, Pucas. Hey Iris, sup? Glad you're feeling better. Yeah, me too, I'm glad too. So do you want me to start finding you a new job? I can search while you're talking with your friends, no problem. I do need to get back to living my life. But what sort of life do I want to live? I don't just want a new job. I want my dream, my Funplex. Not just 4 walls and a bunch of games, but a community. When I was a lifeguard, I'd saved lives and made a safe place for people to enjoy the pool with friends. I'm not done with that dream, and more importantly, I don't have to be done with it. All around me are pioneers of this community, this culture. Technicians, designers, enthusiasts, inventors, people with connections. And that's when the idea starts to form. Iris, can you search for commercial spaces, ones for lease or rent? Huh, of course, I'm a literal search wizard. Why?
I know.
Oh, I think I get it. I step away from my quiet corner and approach the group. It's time to take back control over my dream, and that starts here. No, I'm not ready for this to end. The crowd hushes when I grab their attention. I set my drink aside and step up to them. Funplex was my dream. I came to see that in time. A wonderful place where friends could have fun together, away from their troubles and cares. I want to keep sharing that dream with you. There's only one way to make that a reality. We open our own arcade. Everyone in this room loved the Funplex and misses it dearly. We'll always miss Francine, but in honor of what we've lost, we need to keep fighting. I'm ready. Are you? Who will help me start a new dream? I'd be honored to join your dream, Pucas. The Funplex saved me a lot of ways. I won't let it go so easily. I'd love to join you. Faced with the prospect of spending my remaining days at home or at some other arcade, I'm absolutely in favor of. I may be a mere customer, but my heart called the Funplex home, and I'll call your new arcade home as well. You've got my thanks, both of you. Okay, this is no longer a Wake Intervention, people. Now it's a conspiracy.
Richter conspiracy.
It's a Wake Conspiracy, sure, why not? We settle down around the table, a nice round one, to discuss the future. I'm leading the show, but I don't take the spotlight, not this time. We have to all work together to make this dream a reality. This is it. The next few decisions are going to be critical in shaping the future I have in my mind's eye. I'll need to choose very, very carefully because there's no take-backsies. Iris is looking for spaces we can use, but we're going to need money, obviously. And arcades are risky startups. I could always respond to one of the many Nigerian princes emailing me amazing offers, but I'm thinking more traditional funding is safer. The way I see it, there's 4 people here who could foot the bill to get us off the ground. Hamza, you've got a tangled web of connections to the industry, access to games and plenty of cash, and a freewheeling whimsy to spend it.
Hamza must consider this.
Hamza is a man of resources indeed. Percy, you've been building a charity war chest for when you pass. I know an arcade isn't sound investment and it's hardly a charity, but you promised me Mr. Moop would always have a home. If I can help restore that home, I'm game, love. Ben and Matt, you two know how to run a small business. You've got invaluable knowledge and resources we could draw from, if you're willing to dip a toe in this industry. We have been looking for new horizons to conquer, new lands to explore.
There would be caveats,
Terms,
conditions,
exemptions,
rules,
guidelines,
best practices.
worst practices.
That's not a thing.
Oh. Hamza would likewise have conditions. As would I.
Understandable, of course. Let me hear your thoughts and then I'll decide. Decision number 1. Funding and direction. In order for me to back your play, Hamza would require you to strike at the very heart of Dekonami's empire, and open a family restaurant alongside your arcade. Take from him the very business he adores so much. We don't know the first thing about running a restaurant. Thankfully, your business partner does. I own several restaurants, I would provide the staffing and
No
resources.
risk, no reward.
Now this is a risky play, but if it succeeds, the reward shall be tremendous. Actually, that's similar to what Matt and I had in mind. Oh yes, but rather than a restaurant, well, we'd like to open a barcade. I've always wanted to run a bar. I'd raise a glass to that idea. After all, sometimes you want to know where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Now, it wouldn't be nearly as large scale as a family restaurant, much safer, not quite as profitable, but still tidy. Honestly, I prefer if you simply ran a video arcade, nothing more. Adding on extras seems like a recipe for failure. We know how to operate a simple small-scale arcade, so why not stick with our strengths? While granted, it has a lower ceiling for success than the others, it's just an arcade and won't pull in anybody looking for more. Low risk, low reward. But I'd say that'd be my condition. We need to stick to the basics. So, take the big gamble on a family restaurant, or make a cozy little barcade, or just go with a classic video arcade. This decision is going to affect the entire direction of the new venture. What do I want? What's my dream? I don't want to do a restaurant. I love Ben and Matt. But I think I'm gonna go with Percy. I'd like to stick to our core strengths. We know how to operate an arcade. Let's operate an arcade. Percy, I'd be honored if you'd lend your aid to that. Wonderful. Looking forward to working with you. It'd be a wonderful legacy to leave, would it not? I suppose asking you to reach the stars was a bit much, but we'll still support you, whatever may come. Hamza admits disappointment, but cannot defy your iron will. Okay. Second thing we need to talk about is what sort of games we want to focus on. The Funplex did a bit of everything, and we will too. We want to include all gamers. But we can also highlight one style of play or another. Really provide best-in-class gaming for a specific audience. Any thoughts? Decision 2. Game focus.
Sweet.
Retro games. It's gotta be all about retro games. You know I'm capable of keeping those older games in tip-top shape. If we focus on retro games, we could serve an audience that Deco's completely ignoring. I would agree with Miss Fairchild. Retro games are an untapped market. I'll grant it wouldn't pull in as much profit, but we know gamers are seeking them. We don't have to make all the money, just enough to keep our pure and untainted dream afloat. We can do that with a well-curated retro game library.
Nope, no way.
Retro's cool and all, but let's talk esports games. They'll draw money better than jamming a magnet up your ass and dragging you through Fort Knox. Get a couple good fighters, more than one FOD, some race and dance games, kind of stuff where folks can compete head-to-head, and we're golden. I have to agree with Queen Bee. You can play retro games on emulators and consoles, but you can't duplicate the community experience of an arcade at home. If we had an esports focus, we could build something together which works as a second home for all sorts of gamers. I think you know what I'm going to suggest. Redemption and prize games. They provide excellent profits. It's the core of Deco's business model, yes, but I think if we focus on those games, we can do them right. No predatory pricing, no scams or ripoffs. And the truth is, most people enjoy them. From kids wanting to win that big prize, to the wistful adults recapturing their childhood dreams of playing skee-ball on the boardwalk. They're simple to play and most of all fun. If they're done right, we can make meaningful memories for everyone. And prizes. Did I mention the prizes? We can stock the shelves with the coolest prizes around. Better than Deco's prizes, which fall apart 2 minutes after you get them. Which matches my ideal arcade more? We'll have all three, sure, but do we emphasize retro games, esports, or prize games? Look, I'm gonna open this arcade with my business partner and my love. And they both want the same thing, so honestly, my hands are tied. Deco thinks that only new games make money. Let's prove him wrong and have the world's greatest retro-style arcade ever. Woohoo! I'll pick out only the best games, don't worry. Excellent. I'm looking forward to this project. Okay, so that's money and games. Now, let's go beyond what we already had at the Funplex. Now, let's make this something special. Decision number 3. New projects. I want a defining feature for arcade, one which will make it stand out. Something nobody else is doing, something nobody's even thought of before. All ideas on the table. If it was too outlandish for the Funplex, it's not too outlandish for me. Show me what you got. Well, I'm not really a part of this, but come on, you're my best friend and 100% part of this. I couldn't be here in this moment if it wasn't for you. Go on, Juniper, what's your idea? Branding. I'm freelancing now, which means I could come on board as your personal brand manager. One heck of a consulting gig. An arcade needs really stellar image management to stand out from the rest, like the event poster I made for you.
What if?
Oh, hey, Juniper, I can add to that. What if we work together? I was thinking of designing a new mascot costume anyway, but I could collaborate and coordinate with you on how it'll tie into the visuals for the rest of the arcade.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a winning combination. Ashley and I can do great work together, come up with some really stellar branding and marketing. We'll stand out in a crowd. Hell, I know exactly what sort of project I'd want to do. Streamer support. Assembling and packing in my streaming rig each day is ridiculous, and duct taping a webcam in front of a screen is a lousy hack. If I could just step up right to a game and, I don't know, swipe a card or something and be streaming with a direct feed in seconds, well, I can think of a dozen streamers who just flock to our place to get a piece of that.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I know how we could do that. I could rig up a general-purpose daughter board which plays man in the middle with the video feed, works with an RFID reader to get the streamer's info, ties into a central video encoder on the Wi-Fi network. Yeah, I could make that happen, and without damaging any classic hardware. Once more in English, please. I know software, not hardware. We stick a thingy into thingy and everything works just fine. I'm sure there's some legal and copyright issues to tackle, but if we do it, if we can do it, let's be the world's first streaming arcade. I was thinking, well, the reason why older games are considered dead ends is they don't work in the ticket game ecosystem. Why not add ticket output to normal games? We could reward skilled players with prize tickets based on their high score or speed of completion. It's just the right balance, and we could make old games just as desirable as new ones.
Perhaps.
As Naomi said, there may be legal hurdles to clear, but I'm in favor of this idea. It's not that I love our prize games, I find them boring personally. No, I favor pinball. Profit is the lifeblood of an arcade, and prize games are profitable. If we can get Moopy producing tickets, well, that's something nobody's ever done before. Interesting. But as much as I'd love to do all three, I doubt we have the money or time for that. Let's focus on one project to launch our arcade with. So we want to have really good branding, or streamer support, or retrofit tickets on old games. Look, I get to be a little selfish with streaming support, and also Naomi wants in on it. Yeah. I want to be on the cutting edge of technology in the arcade community. Do whatever you have to integrate 20XX broadcast systems into our games. Finally, no more hauling around a bunch of duct tape and webcams. A new tech project? Not just repairing an old monitor? Yeah, you won't regret this, Pucas. One more thing. Final decision. The name. This is going to be my baby, my dream arcade. I've got a name already in mind for it. So barring any objections, I'd like to welcome you all to... Arcade Spirits? That's the name of the game. Alright. All of my friends, I know this is going to make absolutely no sense to you, but I'd like to welcome you to the Parfplex. The Parfplex, is that right? Yeah, that works. The Parfplex. Let's call it the Parfplex. Parfplex. I like it. We can work with that. Let's hear it for the Parfplex. A home lives again. How exciting. Fuck yeah. Toast then? One by one, everyone raises their glasses. I fetch my room temperature drink and raise mine high in turn. For those we've lost and those we've yet to meet. For the Parfplex and the future. For the Parfplex! Losing everything, then getting it all back and then some. It's been a roller coaster of a week to be sure. But I can't rest now, absolutely not. I need to take charge of this project and my life in general. I have to do for them what Francine did for us. That's okay. I'm ready, I'm willing. And this is our time. You've cleared level 6 of Arcade Spirits. A winner is you. Now let's see your score. You're proving to be a gentle, sweet, and compassionate soul. Also, you've scored 21,600 points. Woohoo! Shops in the volcano-devastated city of Pompeii bear the characteristics of a pizzeria. That's a neat, if a bit depressing pizza fact just for you. Do you want to save your game before proceeding to level 7? Yep. As usual, with that level over, we are going to save our game. And we are going to call it there for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming by tonight. What a stream. What a what a series of events that was. I I couldn't remember like where that chapter leaves off. And part of me thought that it was going to turn off at the at the game over screen. And I was going to be excited to be like, and that's where we'll pick up next time. But yeah. I am excited for our next episode where we're going to go further in with the Parfplex. A name that makes no sense in universe. But, with that said, thank you so much everyone who popped by tonight. If you come and hang out and you want to drop us a follow, we really appreciate all of those. And if you want to hang out with the community, find out what is coming for us, you can join our Discord at that link right there. You can check out our YouTube where we put all our old stream VODs right there. And you can check out our Clips channel, which is painfully unupdated right now, but I will get around to it. So, thanks everyone for coming by tonight. Next stream up is going to be D-Boss on Tuesday. Always a great time. Hope to see you there. So, that said, I'll see you all next time.